Well, you guys, one of my very first RCs has seen some changes again. This is my Traxxas 1/16, originally an E-Revo. However, it is now a Traxxas 1/16 Summit that doesn't even utilize the Traxxas electronics. If you guys have been watching the video series about a year or so ago, I changed this 1/16 E-Revo into a Summit and added a ton of other things to it. However, recently I've just changed it again to just change the look, to change it up. You know, I'm one of those kind of guys that I just don't build something once and then leave it. I take the car and I am constantly upgrading it and I'm constantly changing it. Years after my original upgrade or thoughts that I had. So recently, like I was saying, you guys, I've actually gone ahead and made some new modifications. Most of you guys remember when I changed it over with this body, when I did Project Apex. For those of you that don't know, this is a 1/16 Proline Racing Apocalypse body. Alright? And this was purposely for the build of making it into a Summit. And that was really cool. I did a lot of cool things with it. It definitely turned itself out to be one heck of a crawling machine. However, recently things have started to wear out, which is expected. I mean, the truck is practically 2 years old, even with the upgrades that I did to it. Actually, speaking of which, it's actually older than that. I did buy this thing used a little more than 2 years ago, and the guy before me had it, I think, about a year. So this truck's almost 4 years old, really. So let's talk about some of the changes I recently made, okay? As you guys can see right off the bat, I have these massive tires on here. What these are 1.9 Proline Racing Super Swamper tires mounted up to a set of 2.2 Proline Racing Bead lock rims. So I took the tire and I stretched it. And to be honest, this actually mounted up better than any other tire that I've mounted to bead locks before. And it looks really cool. It looks like a mini monster truck. So I went ahead and did that just for looks to see what it was like, and I liked it, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. But I ran into a problem. Because these tires are so massive, and this is such a small truck, and it's got a small width for a wheelbase, that when you actually go to turn the wheel, and you go to crawl something, the tire is most likely going to rub in the back corner here, or even in the front. So I actually had to tighten up the suspension a bit to give it a more of a tighter feel to it, so it's less likely when it's crawling up over something to actually cause the suspension to bend, which is not a problem to me. I'm not making this into a scale crawler. I'm just making it into something fun that works. So I had to make some changes to the suspension, put these massive tires on there, and then I made a few little changes to the body. For those of you that don't know, I did a while back, a few months ago, put this Ford Raptor body on it. Painted it up just for fun, but I recently added some stickers to it to give it a little more detail to it. Alright? You know, if we're going to do something scale, we might as well do it as best as we can. Now, the reason why I have an axial sticker here, you guys will understand here in a minute. It's something internally here that I'll show you. But I also went ahead and made a little scaled chain just for cosmetic looks. I don't expect to really use it, but it's there for looks anyways. So we went ahead and did that. But the biggest problem of all that I had run into after the last run, where I let my son use this, was that the steering servo stripped out in it. Oh no! Well, to be honest, I'm actually very surprised that it had lasted as long as it did. Okay? The stock steering servo that was in this truck, okay, had been in it since the original owner had it. So now 3 years, almost 4 maybe. So for a little servo with plastic gears and everything I've done to it, all the bashing, the beating, the crawling, everything, that little servo lasted so long. And I'm surprised because almost everybody has an issue with that servo. Luckily for me, I ended up being one of those lucky guys. But, like I said, the plastic gears finally did strip in it. So what I had to do was actually put in something with metal gears. And I came across Savox, which actually makes the servo for a direct fit into your 1/16 E-Revo or Summit. Uses metal gears, and it, like I said, it's a direct fit into it. I brought this box so I can show you guys some specs on it, okay? Bring this up close, get the glare out of there. So it uses about 70 ounces of torque, which isn't bad. I'm not sure what the stock one had, but I can tell you it is better than the stock one. However, it's still a little on the weaker side for these size of the tires. So if you guys do end up doing something like this to your 1/16 truck, and you want to put these massive tires on there, be aware that even this one little servo, it's still a little weak. When the truck is just sitting like this and you go to turn, it has a hard time doing so. But if you're rolling, the truck is rolling and you go to turn, it does not have a problem whatsoever. It has a lot of torque doing that. And the reason for that is because when the car is sitting, it actually has more friction, more resistance on the ground for the tire when it's just sitting, turning the rubber back and forth. Versus if it's rolling, it can roll into the turn, making it easier. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. So yeah, we did a few little upgrades, cleaned everything out, re-greased some stuff, popped in the drive shaft that had actually popped out in the back here, and that's just because of the height. From what I understand, these metal drive shafts that are in here, okay, these are designed for the 1/16 E-Revo, not for the Summit, and that's because of the height. The further down the wheel goes, okay, the more distance that is needed in here. So if you guys actually look, if I can bring it up close, you can actually see the ball is right on the edge of that. Now sometimes when I go and bounce over a rock or it flexes like crazy, that's when they tend to pop out when I'm applying power. But it's only happened twice since I've done this conversion, making it into a Summit, and it's not that big of a deal popping it back into place. So I'm not that concerned about it. It works just fine and I don't have that much of a problem. So that's all I've pretty much done to this truck. Just wanted to give you guys a little of an update. For those of you that have not seen the video series on Project Apex, or has seen anything that I did when I had it when it was a Revo, do a little quick chat of an overview here, okay? So, let's bring this into camera here. I'm running an axial 27 turn brushed motor. I've completely removed the brushless Traxxas motor that was in here and used a Hot Racing 540 to 550 motor mount conversion kit that bolts directly up to the stock transmission. I've even taken the stock transmission, upgraded the gears to metal, and then did a transmission gear reversal. If you guys aren't sure what that is, do a YouTube search. It's basically you're taking the gears inside and switching them around. So you actually get more low-end torque, slower speed for crawling than it is necessarily for high-speed use. So I went ahead and did that, installed a custom mount from my good buddy over at Big Daddy RC Customs. He made a mount for this that bolts up to the front shocks and actually holds the AE2 ESC in place. Just need to get some new double side sticky tape to hold this in there. You can see right down. Alright. It's a perfect fit. Love it. We put an LED light kit in for the Traxxas Summit setup. Traxxas Summit front bumper, Traxxas Summit long arms, which gives it that height versus the Revo where it sits down more. We put in Hot Racing shocks, RPM control arms, Hot Racing knuckles with scaled disc brakes. You guys can see inside of there. And that's been pretty much it. I am running steel drive shafts inside of here as well, so this thing is pretty much bulletproof. So that's it. Just wanted to give you guys a little update in case you were curious, you wanted to do it to your own. I love this 1/16 Summit truck. It's a lot of fun, extremely portable, and it really does go anywhere. There's really not much this thing can't tackle, especially with that motor, the transmission swap, and the metal drivetrain. It really can take anything I give it. So there's the update, you guys. Hope you find this little truck pretty cool. And you will see here in about a week or two of a running video on it. And that should do it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. And I will put some information in the description box. I encourage you to read it. And that'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.